The Zanari people had been watching Earth for many years. They were a peaceful species from a distant galaxy, with blue, scaly skin and tall, slender bodies. Their planet was much like Earth, with oceans and forests, but their technology was far more advanced. They could send ships across the stars and listen to signals from other worlds. One day, a Zanari scientist named Kylix picked up strange signals from a small blue planet. These signals contained moving pictures and sounds. The Zanari had never seen anything like it before. They quickly built special machines to watch these transmissions from Earth. What they found amazed them. The signals showed creatures of all shapes and sizes, some with fur, some with scales, some that flew and some that swam, and sometimes a voice would speak over these images, telling stories about the animals. "The mighty lion stalks its prey through the tall grass," said the voice in one video. "With perfect patience, it waits for the right moment to strike." Kylix and the other Zanari scientists watched in wonder. How did this voice know what would happen? How could someone see these animals so closely without being noticed? The cameras moved through water, flew through air, and even seemed to go underground. No normal being could do such things. After months of study, the Zanari came to a conclusion that made perfect sense to them. The humans making these videos must be gods. Only gods could freeze time with slow motion. Only gods could predict what animals would do next. Only gods could float unseen above sharks and lions without being attacked. "These Earth deities are powerful beyond measure," Kylix told the Zanari Council. "They watch over their world's creatures. They document everything. They must be incredibly wise." The council decided they should visit Earth and meet these godlike beings. They prepared their best ship and selected a team of their brightest minds. After a journey of several months through space, they entered Earth's atmosphere, carefully choosing a landing spot far from big cities. They had seen in the documentaries that the human deities preferred wild places with lots of animals. Meanwhile, Lisa Carter was not having a good day. The 35-year-old wildlife photographer had been sitting in a small blind for 6 hours, waiting to capture footage of Arctic foxes. Her back hurt, she was cold, and the foxes were nowhere to be seen. "Come on, little guys," she whispered to herself, adjusting her camera. "Just give me 5 minutes of good footage and I can go warm up." Lisa had been making wildlife documentaries for 10 years. She loved animals and nature more than anything. She had filmed in jungles, deserts, and oceans around the world. Right now, she was in the northern forests of Canada, working on a piece about animals that survive in cold climates. Her radio crackled. "Lisa, it's Steve. You seeing anything out there?" Lisa picked up her radio. "Nothing yet. I'll give it another hour before heading back to camp." Steve Wright was her assistant on this project, a college student studying biology who helped carry equipment and set up camera traps. Just as Lisa was about to pack up her things, she saw a flash of bright light through the trees. It was like nothing she had ever seen before, a blue-green glow that lit up the whole forest. "What on earth?" she muttered, grabbing her camera. Maybe it was some kind of rare northern lights. Whatever it was, it would make great footage. She left her blind and walked carefully toward the light. As she got closer, she realized it wasn't northern lights at all. In a small clearing stood a large, smooth object shaped like an oval. It glowed with that strange blue-green light. Lisa froze, her camera hanging forgotten at her side. "Steve," she whispered into her radio. "You need to see this. I think it's a spaceship." There was no answer from the radio, just static. The smooth surface of the ship suddenly opened and Lisa ducked behind a tree. Her heart pounded in her chest as she watched several tall figures step out. They had blue scaly skin that shimmered in the light. They walked on 2 legs and had 2 arms, but they were definitely not human. Lisa's hands shook as she lifted her camera and began to film. If these were really aliens, she needed proof. The blue beings looked around the forest with large dark eyes. They carried small devices in their hands which they pointed in different directions. Then one of them pointed directly at Lisa's hiding spot. She ducked down, but it was too late. They had seen her. "Stay calm," she told herself. "Stay calm." The aliens approached slowly. Lisa stood up, deciding it was better to face them than to hide. She held her camera in front of her like a shield. The tallest alien stepped forward and bowed deeply. The others followed, all bowing to Lisa. Then the tall one spoke, and to Lisa's shock, she understood the words. Great seer of hidden places, controller of time, we have traveled far to meet you, the alien said in a strange musical voice. We are honored to be in your divine presence. Lisa blinked in confusion. What? I think you've got the wrong person. The alien continued. We have watched your godly works for many cycles, how you show the smallest creatures in their hidden homes, how you slow the beating of birds' wings, how you dive deep with the ocean giants without taking breath. Truly, your powers are magnificent. Suddenly, Lisa understood. They had been watching Earth's wildlife documentaries. Somehow they thought the people who made these films had special powers. They thought she was some kind of god. Oh boy, Lisa said quietly. This is going to be complicated. Just then, Steve came crashing through the trees, out of breath. Lisa, I saw a light and... He stopped dead when he saw the aliens. His mouth fell open. The aliens immediately bowed to Steve as well. Another deity graces us with their presence, the tall alien said reverently. Steve looked at Lisa with wide eyes. What's happening? Lisa sighed. Well, it seems we have visitors from space and they think we're gods because they've been watching our documentaries. At that moment, more lights appeared in the sky. Lisa looked up to see helicopters approaching. Someone else had noticed the alien ship, and now the government was coming. This simple filming trip had just become the most important first contact in human history. And Lisa, who only wanted to film some foxes, was right in the middle of it all. The helicopters grew louder as they approached the clearing. Lisa looked from the aliens to Steve and back again, trying to decide what to do. We need to keep everyone calm, she said to Steve. These aliens think we're gods. Who knows how they'll react when more humans show up? Steve nodded, his face pale. Should we run? No, Lisa said firmly. That might scare them. Just follow my lead. The tall alien, who had introduced himself as Kylix, was still bowing before them. Great seers, why do flying machines approach? Are more deities coming to meet us? Lisa took a deep breath. Those are other humans. They're curious about you. But please understand, we're not gods. We're just people who make videos about animals. Kylix tilted his head, confused. But how do you freeze time? How do you breathe underwater? How do you fly above the clouds? We don't actually do those things, Lisa explained. We use special tools called cameras. They can make things look slow or fast. We have special gear for going underwater. And sometimes we use drones, which are small flying machines with cameras. Before Kylix could respond, 3 military helicopters landed at the edge of the clearing. Soldiers in uniform jumped out, pointing guns at the aliens. Lisa's heart raced. This could turn bad very quickly. A woman in a dark suit stepped out of the middle helicopter. She walked forward slowly, hands raised to show she wasn't armed. I'm Dr. Olivia Grant from the United States Department of Defense, she called out. We detected your landing and came to establish contact. Lisa stepped forward. Dr. Grant, please, tell your soldiers to lower their weapons. These aliens are peaceful. They're called the Zanari, and they're here because they've been watching our wildlife documentaries from space. They think we're gods. Dr. Grant looked confused for a moment, then signaled for the soldiers to lower their guns. Gods? Because of documentaries? Yes, Lisa said. They've misunderstood what they've seen. Kylix and the other Zanari were now bowing to Dr. Grant, too. Another deity, Kylix said with wonder. You must be a high knowledge keeper. Dr. Grant looked at Lisa with raised eyebrows. Lisa shrugged. They seem to have a whole religious system worked out based on what they've seen in our documentaries. Over the next few hours, more government officials arrived. They set up tents and equipment around the alien ship. Scientists, military personnel, and language experts all wanted to talk to the aliens. Lisa found herself acting as a bridge between the humans and Zanari, since the aliens seemed to trust her the most. By nightfall, A small camp had formed around the alien ship. Lisa sat with Kylix near a campfire, trying once again to explain how documentaries worked. "So this thing called a camera," Kylix said, pointing to Lisa's equipment. "It captures light and sound and stores it?" "That's right," Lisa said. "Then we can show those images to other people later. It's not magic or godly powers. It's just technology." Kylix looked doubtful. "But how does the voice know what the animals will do?" In one recording, the voice said the tiger would hunt before the tiger began to hunt. Lisa smiled. "We record the footage first and add the voice later. Sometimes we wait days or weeks to see animals do interesting things." A young soldier brought them some hot drinks. He looked at Kylix with curiosity. "Is it true they think you're a god?" he asked Lisa. Lisa nodded. "They've been watching our nature shows from space and didn't understand what they were seeing." The soldier laughed. "That's wild. Wait till they see action movies. They'll think we can fly and shoot lasers from our eyes." Kylix looked alarmed. "Your kind can shoot lasers from your eyes?" "No," Lisa said quickly. "He's talking about fiction, stories we make up for fun. Not everything we film is real." This seemed to confuse Kylix even more. "You create false records? Why?" "For entertainment," Lisa explained. "To make people feel emotions or think about ideas." Dr. Grant joined them, sitting down across the fire. "Ms. Carter, the government would like you to continue helping us communicate with the Zanari. Your background in wildlife documentation seems to be the connection point." Lisa frowned. "I'm supposed to be here for 3 more weeks filming Arctic foxes. I'm not a diplomat." "The foxes can wait," Dr. Grant said firmly. "This is first contact with an alien species. Nothing is more important right now." The next morning, Lisa woke up in the tent they had given her. For a moment, she thought she had dreamed the whole thing. Then she heard strange musical voices outside and remembered. Aliens were real and they thought she was a god. She stepped outside to find Kylix and 2 other Zanari watching Steve set up a camera trap near the edge of the clearing. "Good morning," she called. The Zanari immediately bowed to her. Lisa sighed. "Please stop bowing. I'm not a god." "The young deity is showing us the seeing device," Kylix said, pointing to Steve. "It is much smaller than we imagined." Lisa walked over to join them. Steve was setting up a motion-activated camera that would take pictures of any animals that walked by. "This is a camera trap," Lisa explained to the aliens. "It takes pictures when animals walk in front of it. We use them to see animals that are shy around humans." One of the other Zanari spoke up. "But how does it know which animals to capture? Does it have a mind of its own?" "No," Lisa said. "It takes a picture of anything that moves in front of it. It's not alive or aware." Just then, a fox trotted into view at the edge of the trees. The camera trap made a clicking sound as it took a photo. The fox froze, then turned and ran away. "Though," Zanari gasped. "Did you summon that creature?" Kylix asked, amazed. "No." Lisa laughed. "That was just luck. Foxes live in these woods. We're trying to film them naturally." More government officials arrived throughout the day. By afternoon, the small clearing was crowded with people, equipment, and tents. News of the alien landing had spread, and reporters were being kept at a distance by military personnel. A tall man in a suit approached Lisa. "Ms. Carter, I'm Frank Nelson from the White House. The president would like to speak with you and the alien representatives." Lisa felt a wave of panic. "The president? I'm just a wildlife photographer." "You're now the most important wildlife photographer in human history," Frank said with a serious face. "The Zanari trust you. We need your help to build a good relationship with them." Lisa looked over at Kylix, who was examining a camera with great interest while Steve explained how it worked. "What if I can't convince them we're not gods?" Lisa asked quietly. Frank shrugged. "Then we work with what we've got. The important thing is to establish peaceful contact. If they want to think we're divine, that might not be so bad." Lisa shook her head. "No, relationships should be built on truth. I need to help them understand who we really are." As the sun began to set, Lisa sat with Kylix and the Zanari delegation. showing them footage she had taken of Arctic foxes. They watched with wonder as she played the videos on her laptop. "Tomorrow," she told them, "I'll show you how we edit these videos and add the voice that explains what's happening. Then maybe you'll understand that we're not gods. We're just humans who love watching and learning about the world around us." Kylix touched the screen gently. "Whether you are gods or not, your way of seeing the world is beautiful. We wish to learn more." Lisa smiled. Maybe this strange first contact would work out after all. 3 months had passed since the Zanari landed on Earth. What started as a small camp in the Canadian forest had grown into a large compound with buildings, laboratories, and meeting rooms. People from all over the world came to meet the aliens. Scientists, government officials, and reporters filled the area every day. Lisa was tired. She had not signed up for this. She wanted to be alone in the woods filming animals, not explaining human culture to aliens. But she had become important to the Zanari. They trusted her, and they still thought most humans had special powers. Today, Lisa sat in a large tent with Kylix and Dr. Grant. They were watching a video that Lisa had made to explain how documentaries work. "This is me setting up the camera," Lisa said, pointing to the screen. On the video, she was putting a camera on a tripod near a stream. "Then I wait for hours until an animal comes by." The video showed Lisa sitting quietly for a long time. Then it showed a bear walking up to the stream to catch fish. "See? I don't control the bear. I just wait for it to show up naturally." Kylix watched with great interest. "But in the final documentary, how do you know what the bear will do before it does it?" Lisa sighed. She had explained this many times. "We record the video first, then we add the voice later, after we've seen what happens." Dr. Grant checked her watch. "The president will be calling in 10 minutes. We should get ready." They moved to another room where a large screen was set up. Soon, the face of the president appeared. "Ms. Carter, Dr. Grant, and our honored guests from Zanari," the president said with a smile. "How are the cultural exchange sessions going?" Before Lisa could answer, a young aide rushed into the room. "Dr. Grant, you need to see this. The Zanari ship in orbit just sent down more visitors." Everyone hurried outside. A smaller ship was landing near the compound. When it opened, several Zanari stepped out carrying strange equipment. "Kylix, who are they?" Lisa asked. "They are our media experts," Kylix explained. "They have been studying your broadcasts more deeply and wish to learn from the humans directly." One of the new Zanari approached Lisa. She was taller than Kylix with darker blue scales. "I am Vela, head of cultural studies. We have made an important discovery about human deities." Lisa tried not to roll her eyes. "We're not deities. We're just regular people." "Yes, we are beginning to understand this," Vela said, surprising Lisa. "But we have observed something disturbing in your broadcasts. Some humans use their recording powers to create suffering for entertainment." Dr. Grant stepped forward. "What do you mean?" Vela held up a device that projected an image in the air. It showed clips from reality TV shows, people arguing, crying, and fighting. "These programs show humans being made to suffer for the amusement of others," Vela said. "The creators of these shows use their powers to cause pain, not to document nature." Lisa felt her face get hot. "Those are reality TV shows. They're different from wildlife documentaries. Some of them are even fake. The people are acting." "Acting?" Kylix asked. "Pretending," Lisa explained. "Like telling a story, but with your body and voice instead of just words." Vela looked troubled. "Our leaders are concerned. If humans use their recording technology for such purposes, can we trust them?" Dr. Grant stepped in smoothly. "Perhaps we could arrange a tour of different media production facilities, show the Zanari how various types of programs are made." The next day, Lisa found herself on a plane to Los Angeles with Kylix, Vela, and several government officials. They were going to visit TV studios and film sets to help the Zanari understand human entertainment. "I should be in Canada filming Arctic foxes," Lisa complained to Steve, who had come along as her assistant. "Instead, I'm taking aliens to Hollywood." Steve grinned. "Come on, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened to anyone. aliens who think we're gods because of Netflix documentaries. Their first stop was a nature documentary studio. The Zanari watched with interest as editors put together footage of ocean life. Lisa finally felt like they were making progress when Kylix understood how narration was added after the footage was filmed. "So you do not know what the animals will do," Kylix said. "You merely wait and watch, then tell the story after." "Exactly," Lisa said, relieved. "We're observers, not controllers." Next, they visited a reality TV production office. The producers explained how they created drama by putting people in unusual situations and editing the footage to tell a story. "Sometimes, we ask them to repeat things or react in certain ways," one producer admitted. "It's not exactly real, but it's not completely fake either." Vela seemed troubled by this. "You manipulate the truth for entertainment?" The producer looked uncomfortable. "We enhance it." Their final stop was a movie set where actors were filming a science fiction scene with aliens. The Zanari were fascinated by the costumes, props, and special effects. "These aliens are not real?" Kylix asked, pointing to actors in green makeup. "No, they're humans in costumes," Lisa explained. "Movies are completely made up. They're stories we tell each other." A studio tour guide led them to a special effects department, where they showed how they created scenes of space, other planets, and alien worlds. "This looks like our home," Vela said suddenly, pointing to a scene of a blue-green planet on a screen. "But we have never allowed humans to visit our world." The special effects artist laughed. "That's just from my imagination. I combined images of Earth's oceans and forests to create an alien planet. I had no idea it looked like a real place." That evening, Lisa and the Zanari sat in a hotel conference room discussing what they had learned. Kylix seemed deep in thought. "I believe I understand now," he said finally. "Humans are not gods. You are storytellers. You use technology to share what you see and to create new things from your imagination." Lisa nodded eagerly. "Yes, that's exactly right." Vela was still concerned. "But some of your stories cause harm. Your reality shows create real pain." "Some humans misuse media," Lisa admitted, "but most of us try to use it for good, to teach, to entertain in positive ways, or to document the world's beauty like I do with animals." Kylix touched a button on his wrist device. A hologram appeared showing the Zanari homeworld, a beautiful planet with 2 moons and swirling blue oceans. "On our world, we share experiences directly through mental connection," he explained. "We never thought to record sights and sounds as you do. Perhaps we can learn from each other." Lisa watched the hologram with wonder. "I would love to film wildlife documentaries on your planet someday." Kylix smiled, showing teeth that were surprisingly similar to human teeth. "Perhaps that can be arranged. But first we must help our people understand that humans are not gods. You are something much more interesting. Creatures who use tools and stories to overcome your natural limits." As Lisa went to bed that night, she thought about how strange her life had become. 3 months ago, she was a simple wildlife photographer. Now she was teaching aliens about human media and planning to visit another planet. All because the Zanari had watched wildlife documentaries and gotten the wrong idea. Life was certainly more interesting now, even if she missed her quiet days in the forest with the foxes. 6 months after the Zanari first landed on Earth, a large meeting was held at the United Nations in New York. Leaders from around the world gathered to discuss the growing relationship between humans and the aliens. Lisa sat near the front of the room, feeling out of place in her formal clothes. She would rather be in hiking boots and a warm jacket, watching animals in the wild. Next to her sat Kylix, who had become her close friend. Over the past months, he had learned much about humans. He no longer thought they were gods, but he still found them fascinating. "Today we will discuss the Zanari proposal for cultural exchange," said the UN Secretary General. "They have invited a group of humans to visit their home planet." A murmur of excitement ran through the room. This would be the first time humans traveled to another world. The Zanari have asked that the group include media specialists, particularly those who create nature documentaries. The Secretary General continued. "Ms. Lisa Carter will lead the team." Lisa nearly fell out of her chair. No one had told her about this plan. She leaned over to Kylix. "Why me?" she whispered. "I'm not a diplomat or a scientist." Kylix smiled. "You helped us understand your world through your eyes. Now we want you to show our world to humans through your camera." After the meeting, Lisa found herself surrounded by officials planning the first human trip to another planet. "You'll need 6 months of training," Dr. Grant told her. "Space travel, alien biology, diplomatic protocols." Lisa shook her head. "I'm a wildlife photographer, not an astronaut." "You're both now," Dr. Grant said firmly. "This is too important for Earth-Zanari relations." The next few months were the hardest of Lisa's life. She trained every day, learning how to live in space, how to use Zanari technology, and how to behave on their planet. She also put together a team of documentary makers who would travel with her. "I still can't believe this is happening," she told Steve, who would be coming as her sound engineer. "All because they watched our nature shows." "I know," Steve grinned. "I was planning to work on my college thesis this year, not visit an alien planet." Finally, the day came for the humans to leave. 7 people would make the journey. Lisa, Steve, 2 other documentary makers, a diplomat, a scientist, and a doctor. They gathered at a special launch site where the Zanari ship waited. Hundreds of reporters and cameras recorded the event. The world was watching. Lisa's parents stood nearby, trying not to cry. They were proud but scared for their daughter. "I'll be back in 3 months," Lisa promised them, "with the best wildlife footage anyone has ever seen." The inside of the Zanari ship was strange and beautiful. The walls seemed alive, changing colors as they moved. The Zanari crew welcomed them with a song in their musical language. As Earth disappeared from view, Lisa looked out at the stars. She had never imagined she would travel in space. All her life, she had wanted to show people the wonders of nature on Earth. Now she would show them the wonders of another world. The journey took 2 weeks. The humans spent the time learning more about Zanari culture and preparing their equipment. The Zanari were eager to teach them about the animals and plants they would soon see. "Our world has 6 types of forests," Kylix explained, showing them images, and 3 oceans with creatures that glow in the dark. When they finally arrived, Lisa pressed her face against the window, amazed by the beauty of the Zanari planet. It looked both familiar and strange, with blue-green lands and purple oceans. "Welcome to Zanaria," Kylix said proudly. The ship landed in a large city. Thousands of Zanari had gathered to see the humans. They no longer bowed as if the humans were gods, but they still watched with great respect and curiosity. The first few days were filled with official meetings and tours. Lisa was polite but impatient. She wanted to get away from the city and start filming wildlife. Finally, after a week, Kylix took the documentary team to a forest reserve. They traveled in a floating vehicle that moved silently above the ground. "Ariel, animals are not used to seeing creatures like you," Kylix warned. "We must be very quiet." Lisa felt at home for the first time since leaving Earth. This was what she knew, waiting quietly, watching for animals, letting nature show itself in its own time. They set up camp near a stream. The water flowed uphill sometimes, which Lisa found hard to understand. Many things on this planet seem to follow different rules. "Our gravity works differently in certain places," Kylix explained. "You will get used to it." That evening, Lisa set up her camera at the edge of the stream. The sun was setting, turning the sky a deep green color. She waited. Just as it was getting dark, a small creature came to drink from the stream. It looked a bit like a fox, but it had 6 legs and 2 tails. Its fur was blue with silver spots. Lisa began filming, her heart racing with excitement. She was the first human to document wildlife on another planet. The little animal moved gracefully, unaware it was making history. Over the next few weeks, the documentary team traveled to different parts of the Zanari world. They filmed in forests, mountains, and oceans. They saw animals that could change colors, plants that sang at night, and birds with 4 wings. The Zanari people were just as interested in how the humans worked. They watched as Lisa and her team set up cameras, recorded sounds, and edited footage. Many young Zanari asked to learn how to make documentaries themselves. One evening, as they camped by a lake with floating islands, Kylix found Lisa sitting alone, looking at the footage she had captured that day. "Are you happy with your work?" he asked. Lisa nodded. "It's the most amazing thing I've ever done. People on Earth will be amazed when they see these animals." "My people have been watching your Earth documentaries for years," Kylix said. "Now humans will watch Zanari documentaries. Our worlds are connected through our shared love of nature." Lisa thought about how strange life was. She had always wanted her work to help people appreciate the natural world, to feel connected to other living things. She never imagined that would include connecting with beings from another planet. "When we first met, you thought I was a god because I could film wildlife," Lisa said with a laugh. "But I'm just a person who loves animals." "That is what makes humans special," Kylix replied. "Not godly powers, but passion and curiosity. You want to understand everything around you and share that understanding with others." As the 3 moons of Zanaria rose in the sky, casting purple light over the lake, Lisa felt truly happy. Tomorrow they would film flying creatures that built nests on the floating islands. The next day they would visit a desert with crystal trees. And when she returned to Earth, she would have stories and images no human had ever seen before. All because the Zanari had watched Earth's wildlife documentaries and wanted to learn more. 1 year had passed since the Zanari first came to Earth. Lisa stood nervously backstage at a large theater in New York City. Tonight was the premiere of Worlds Beyond the Wildlife of Zanaria, the documentary she and her team had created about the alien planet. 5 minutes until showtime, a stage manager told her. Lisa smoothed down her dress. She was not used to fancy clothes. She preferred her field jacket and hiking boots. But tonight was special. Leaders from Earth and Zanaria would watch her work. The documentary would be broadcast to billions of people on both planets. Steve appeared beside her, looking uncomfortable in his suit. "The theater is packed. I saw 3 Zanari government officials in the front row." "Is Kylix here?" Lisa asked. "Yes, he just arrived." Lisa smiled. Kylix had become one of her closest friends. After their 3 months on Zanaria, he had come back to Earth as the official Zanari ambassador. He understood humans better than any other Zanari. The lights dimmed in the theater. Dr. Grant walked onto the stage to introduce the film. "1 year ago, we discovered we are not alone in the universe," she said. "The Zanari came to us because they watched our wildlife documentaries. Tonight, we share the first human-made documentary about their world." The audience applauded as Lisa walked onto the stage. She looked out at the crowd and saw Kylix in the front row. He gave her an encouraging nod. "When I first met the Zanari, they thought I was a god because I could film animals without disturbing them," Lisa said with a smile. "Now they know I'm just a person with a camera. But together, we've created something special, a window into another world." The lights went down and the film began. The audience gasped as they saw the beautiful landscapes of Zanaria, the floating islands, the crystal forests, the purple oceans. They watched in wonder as strange, 6-legged animals moved across the screen, as flying creatures with 4 wings soared through green skies, as plants that sang at night filled the darkness with music. Lisa's voice narrated the film, explaining the behaviors of the animals and the unique features of the Zanari environment. Sometimes Kylix's voice joined hers, adding details about his homeworld that only a native would know. When the film ended, the audience stood and applauded for several minutes. Lisa felt tears in her eyes. All her hard work had paid off. She had shown Earth the wonders of another world. At the reception afterward, many people wanted to talk to Lisa. Scientists praised her for the detailed footage of alien biology. Government officials thanked her for strengthening the relationship between Earth and Zanaria. Film directors admired her camera work. Lisa was looking for a quiet corner when Kylix found her. "Your film is beautiful," he said. "My people are watching it right now on our planet. They are learning about how humans see and understand the world." "I just showed what was there," Lisa said modestly. "No, you did more than that," Kylix insisted. You showed the connection between all living things, whether they are from Earth or Zenaria. The next morning, Lisa was surprised to see her face on the front page of newspapers and on news websites. The documentary had broken viewing records. People everywhere were talking about the amazing animals of Zenaria. But what made Lisa happiest was a message from a young girl in a small town. The girl wrote that after watching the documentary, she wanted to become a wildlife filmmaker too. She wanted to show people the beauty of nature so they would protect it. 6 months later, Lisa found herself back on Zenaria. This time, she was not just filming wildlife. She was teaching young Zenari how to make documentaries themselves. A beautiful valley with 3 suns shining overhead. Lisa showed a group of blue-scaled Zenari students how to use cameras. The most important thing is patience, she told them. Sometimes you have to wait hours or days to capture the perfect moment. The students listened carefully. They had grown up watching Earth documentaries, believing the filmmakers were gods. Now they were learning they could do this work themselves. One young Zenari named Tala showed special talent. She had an eye for finding interesting animal behaviors to film. While the other students were filming obvious things like large animals drinking at a waterhole, Tala found a tiny 6-legged creature building a nest from shiny stones. "How did you know to film that?" Lisa asked her. "I watched it yesterday," Tala said. "I noticed it was collecting specific stones. I wanted to see what it would do with them." Lisa smiled. That's exactly the right instinct. Good documentary makers are good observers first. That evening, as the Zenari students reviewed their footage, Lisa sat with Kylix on a hillside overlooking the valley. "Your people have learned so quickly," she said. "Soon they'll be making better documentaries than humans do." "We had good teachers," Kylix replied. "And we have been watching your documentaries for many years." "It's strange to think that your people once thought we were gods," Lisa said. "Now we're just friends learning from each other." "Perhaps that is better than being gods," Kylix suggested. "Gods are distant and perfect. Friends are close and real." Below them in the valley, Zenari and human scientists worked together studying the local wildlife. A team of engineers was building a permanent research station where people from both planets could live and work together. "What will you do next?" Kylix asked. "Will you make another documentary about our world?" Lisa looked up at the 3 moons beginning to rise in the sky. "Actually, I was thinking of something different. I want to make a documentary about the Zenari people, not as aliens but as another intelligent species sharing the universe with us. I want to show how alike we are despite our differences." "I think that would be good," Kylix said. "My people are still learning that humans are not gods, but fellows, travelers in the cosmos. Your film could help them see that." As night fell on Zenaria, lights came on in the research station. Humans and Zenari sat together sharing meals and stories. Some watched wildlife footage captured that day. Others made plans for tomorrow's work. A small ship took off, heading for Earth with the latest scientific findings and messages from the Zenari students to their families. Another ship landed, bringing new researchers eager to explore this alien world. Lisa thought about how much had changed in just 1 year. A simple misunderstanding about wildlife documentaries had led to friendship between 2 worlds. The Zenari no longer thought humans were gods. Instead, they saw them as teachers, students, and partners. And that, Lisa decided, was much better than being worshipped. Gods stood apart from the world. But filmmakers, scientists, and explorers were part of it, connected to everything around them. As she walked back to the station with Kylix, Lisa was already planning her next project, a documentary made by both, humans and Zenari, showing the beauty of both their worlds, not through the eyes of gods but through the eyes of friends,